Hello everyone, welcome back to Chinmoy's Biology channel to yet another new episode of your lesson sound. So till the previous one I have completed friction. Hope you all have gone through that lesson as well. If you have not gone through that, I'll be putting the link in the description box. Please do go through it. So today is a very new lesson sound and we are going to discuss many important topics throughout the lesson. So please don't skip in the middle. Please do go throughout the full episode. So without further delay, let's get started. So what are the learning objectives of this full lesson? So till the end of this lesson, what we are going to study? First, we will study that sound is produced by vibrating the body. We will study about that with different activities. So there are many activities in your NCERT book. We will go through all the activities today. Now sound is produced by humans. Sound needs a medium of propagation. We hear sound through our ears. So this all specifically these points we are going to deal. Amplitude, time period, frequency of vibration, audible and inaudible sounds, noise pollution, what are the harmful effects of noise pollution, and measures to limit the noise pollution. So these all are the things which are present in this lesson, which I have divided like this. But in today's episode, hopefully we will be able to cover this first four topics till here. So from amplitude part till this last four topics we will be discussing in the next class, or else it will be a very big video and it will be difficult for you to grasp the full lesson. So I have divided it into part 1 and part 2. Okay, so today we will learn till here and in the next episode we will be learning this other part. So for that you need to subscribe to my channel, because if you are not subscribing you will not get the updates as soon as I upload the part 2 of sound. So let's get started without further delay. So here comes your lesson sound. Let us start with today's lesson. So we will start with a general discussion. How do you come to know that your class period is over in your school? So you just hear a bell ringing, right? So from that you get to know that your class is over. So that is also one form of sound. So we can say that how do you easily come to know when somebody is at your door? He is ringing the doorbell. So sound, in all forms sound is reaching you, then only you know this. Okay, so most of the time you can make out that someone is approaching you just by hearing the footsteps. Okay, so when you are playing hide and seek, what happens? It is a person is blindfolded and has to catch the remaining players. So how the blindfolded person is able to see the hear the player? So with the sound only we will be able to catch hold of the nearest person. Okay, so sound plays a very important role in our daily lives. It helps us to communicate with one another. So when you are sitting in your classroom, when you are speaking with your friends, when you are speaking with your teacher as well, sound is a main mode of communication. So you are listening to my videos, you are listening to what I am teaching. So it is how? It is through sound only. So I am speaking and you are hearing. So through your ears you are receiving what I am speaking. So we hear a variety of sounds in our surroundings. Make a list of sound you hear in your surroundings. In the music room of your school, you hear musical sounds. Is it clear? So what you hear in your musical room, instruments like flute, tabla, harmonium, etc. are being used in your uh, musical room, right? How is sound produced? How does it travel from one place to another? So these are the questions which are in our mind. So this we should clarify, and in the way of science we should understand that why are some sounds louder than the other. We shall discuss all these questions in this class. Okay, so let's start. So sound is produced by a vibrating body. Okay, now sound, how can you say that sound is produced from a vibrating body? So touch the school bell when it is not in use. How do you feel? Again, touch the bell when the sound is produced. So when you are touching the bell without any sound, it is having no vibration. But when it is just you have hit the bell hard to produce a sound, you will see that it's vibrating. So let us start with activity 10.1. Take a metal plate or a pan, hang it at a convenient place. Like this only, you are hanging it on a convenient place and it does not touch to wall. Now strike it with a stick Do you hear a sound? Touch the plate or a pan gently with your finger. You can feel the vibration. So same as the school bell, right? You can hang any metal plate, any metal pan, and with a wooden stick you can hit it and you will feel the vibration and you can hear the sound. Okay, so after again strike the plate with a stick and hold it tightly with your hands immediately after striking. So what you feel immediately after striking, the full plate is vibrating, and as soon as the sound stops, the vibrations also stop. Can you feel the vibrations now? No. As soon as the sound stops, the vibration will also stop. Now let us move on to the next experiment, that is 10.2 activity. Now take a rubber band, put it around the longer side of the pencil box. See how it is being put? Along the longer side you are putting the rubber band. You are inserting two pencils in two corners of the box and then you are stretching the rubber band. Now the rubber band you are plucking somewhere in between. You are just plucking the rubber band in the middle. So do you hear any sound? Yes, you will hear a sound, and this rubber band also will start to vibrate. Okay, as you have learnt in class 7 that to and fro or back and forth motion of an object is vibration. So it is to and fro. It is a to and fro motion, and we can say that it is to and fro or back and forth motion, and this is called vibration. And when tightly stretched the band is plucked, it vibrates and produces sound. When it stops vibrating, it does not produce any sound. So this is the main thing what is happening. When it is vibrating, it is producing sound, and when it has stopped vibrating, it does not produce any sound. So vibration is the main cause of sound production. So this is clear to all of us now. Now there is another activity 10.3. Let us move on to that. Now take a metal dish. As per this activity, you are taking a metal dish, pouring some water in it and striking it at its edge with a spoon. So do you hear a sound? Again strike the dish and then touch it. Can you feel the dish vibrating? Strike the dish again. Look at the surface of water. Do you see any waves there? So what is happening? You could just see down here. You have taken a dish, metal dish. You are just beating this part, and what is happening? It is creating a vibration, and that vibration in turn is causing waves in this water. So it is creating a sound as well. So when the vibration is there, there is obviously sound, and as soon as the vibration stops, no sound is there. Okay, so now hold the dish. What change you will observe on the surface of water? If you are holding the dish, when the vibration stops, these waves will stop. Can you explain the change, and is there a hint to connect sound with vibrations of the body? Yes, obviously, when the body is vibrating, we can hear the sound. As soon as you are holding this dish, the vibrations will stop and you will not get any sound here. Okay, so we see that a vibrating object, it produces sound, and in some cases the vibrations are easily visible to us, but in most cases their amplitude is so small that we cannot see them. However, we can feel them. Okay, now next here comes the activity 10.4. Now here comes another activity, that is take a hollow coconut shell and make a musical instrument like this. This is called iktara. You can also make it with the help of an earthen pot. So play this instrument and identify its vibrating part. So make a list of familiar musical instruments and identify their vibrating parts. A few examples are given in this table. So here you can see few musical instruments: veena, tabla. Other instruments you'll have to write which are having we can say that which are having a hollow part, and when you play that, they will vibrate and they'll create sound. So many of you might have seen manjira, okay, ghatam, and noot or mud pots, and kartal. So these are musical instruments and are commonly used in many parts of our country. These instruments are simply beaten or struck. So can you name other few instruments? So these are all beat instruments. This is ghatam. This one is manjira. All are beat instruments. When you beat them, they create sound, they create vibration, and once the vibration stops, the sound will also stop. Now here another 10.5, here another activity is there. Take 6 to 8 bowls or tumblers, fill them with water. See here, 6 to 8 bowls are taken, they are filled with water as per the increasing, the increasing gradually. Now take a pencil, you are striking all this and you can see that all of them are struck in succession. Now you will hear like a jal tarang, so the music from a very low pitch to high pitch, it will increase. So it will being here as a jal tarang. Okay, so when we pluck a string of an instrument like a sitar, the sound we hear is not only of the string, the whole instrument is forced to vibrate, right? In sitar, not only the string is vibrating, but the whole instrument is vibrating, and it is the sound of the vibration of the instrument that we hear. Similarly, when we strike a mridangam, the sound we hear is not only the membrane but the whole body. So same in case of tabla, it is not only the membrane, it is the whole body which is vibrating and creating sound. Is it clear to all of you? Now we will move on to this, that when we speak, how does any body part vibrate to create sound? So sound produced by humans is the next important part. So speak loudly for a while or sing a song. So then only you can see that how sound is produced by humans. Okay, so put your hand on your throat. You just put your hand on your throat now. Just talk. What you will see that you will, while talking, you will see vibrations in your throat. So the sound is produced by the voice box or larynx. So the voice box is called the larynx. Now put your fingers on the throat and find it. You will find a hard bump-like substance that seems to move when you swallow. You are touching your throat when you are swallowing. A hard bump-like thing is moving up and down. So this part of the body is called the voice box. It is the upper part of your windpipe, and this is having two vocal cords, and they are stretched across the voice box and larynx in such a way it leaves a narrow slit between them. So this vocal cords are stretched like that in a narrow passageway, like they are having a narrow slit between there for the passage of air, and this passage of air causes sound. So when the lungs forces the air through the slit, the vocal cords vibrate and this produces sound. So there is a narrow slit between the two vocal cords. When the air is passed on through the lungs through this slit, it produced sounds and the vocal cords vibrate, producing sound. Now muscles attached to the vocal cords are make the cords tight or loose. So there are certain muscles attached to the vocal cord. It makes the muscles tight and cords tight and loose, and when the vocal cords are tight and thin, the type or quality of voice is different from that when they are loose and they are thick. So let us see in certain experiments how these vocal cords are functioning. Okay, so we will do these experiments with the help of certain rubber strips. So suppose you are taking two rubber strips which are placed one above the other and stretch them tight. Now blow air through the gap between them. So you are stretching two rubber strips, you are blowing air through the gap between them, and what you will see, sound is produced. Now similarly you can take two strips of papers as well, and you can just keep a very narrow slit in between and hold it between your fingers as shown in this figure 10.9. Okay, see, you are holding it with your fingers. You are just keeping a slit of space in between this two narrow slit between this two paper, and when you are blowing sound, you will listen to the sound. So our vocal cords are working in this similar manner as these two with stretched rubber band and piece of paper they are doing. This is the working principle of our vocal cord. Is it clear to you all? Now the vocal cords in men are about 20 millimeter long and in female are about 15 millimeter long. Children have very short vocal cords. That is the reason why the voices of men, women and children are all times different. So it depends on the size of the vocal cord. In men it is they are about 20 millimeter. So in female it is 15 and in children it is very very small, short. So now we will move on to the next part, that is sound needs a medium of propagation. So here sound needs a medium always for propagation. So how can we prove that? So when you call up your friend who is standing at a distance, your friend is able to hear you. So how the sound is traveling? So the air is acting as a medium here. You are shouting loudly, are calling your friend. So what is the medium of traveling? It is air. So let us see this activity here. Take a metal or a glass tumbler. Make sure that it is very dry. Place a cell phone in it and ask your friend to give a ring or on the cell phone from another cell phone. Listen to the ring carefully. Now surround the rim of the tumbler with your hands and put your mouth on the opening between your hands. Now what you are doing, you are first placing it in this tumbler. You are telling your friend to give a ring. You are hearing the sound clearly. Now when you are sucking the air from this tumbler itself, though the cell phone is inside only, you are carefully sucking the air and you are creating a vacuum inside. What will happen when your phone is ringing? Listen the ring after sucking the air. So you will not be able to hear the sound properly. So does the sound become fainter as you suck the air? Obviously, because the medium of sound traveling is has been removed. You have sucked in the air, and when you remove the tumbler away from your mouth again, it is filled with the air, and thus the sound becomes loud again. So can you think of a possible explanation? Is it possible that the decreasing amount of air in the tumbler has something to do with the loudness? Yes, obviously. When you are decreasing the sound in the tumbler, what will happen? It will decrease the air in it. So air is the medium of transport of sound. So that is why the loudness or the ring is decreasing. So indeed, if you have been able to suck the air properly in the tumbler, you will not listen to any sound. Actually, sound needs a medium to travel. Always sound needs a medium to travel. Either it is air, either it is solid, either it is liquid, anything, a medium should be there. So when air has been removed completely from the vessel, it is vacuum. In the vessel, the sound cannot travel through vacuum. Is it clear to all of you now? Now, this was an air medium. Now we will move on to the activity where we will see that water is a medium. Next, we will see that solid is a medium. Let us move on gradually. Now, it is taking a bucket or a bathtub. You can take it, fill it with clean water. You just see here. You are cleaning it with, you are keeping clean water in it, and you are taking a small bell in your hand. It should not touch the ground, and you are shaking this bell inside water to produce sound. Now make sure that the bell does not touch the body of the bucket. So you are making sure that it is not touching the bottom. So what will happen now? Now place your ear gently on the sound, on the water, to see water surface. You are gently placing your ear. You should be careful that water should not enter your ear. You can hear the sound. Can you hear the sound of the bell? Yes. Does it indicate that sound can travel through liquids? Obviously, sound can travel through liquids. Sound can travel through gases as well. So that is how whales and dolphins, they communicate underwater as well. So let us find out that if sound can travel through solids also. So let us see. Now here you can see in this activity what they are doing. They are taking a meter scale on a long metal rod and holding its one end. And this fellow is scratching or tapping at this end, and this fellow is able to hear the sound. Okay, can you hear the sound? Ask your friends around that if they are able to hear the sound. Yes, if you are holding this here and if this fellow is scratching here, you will be able to hear the sound because it is transmitted through this medium, wooden medium. So you can also perform this activity by placing your ear at one end of the wooden long tube or a metallic table and ask your friend to gently scratch. So your friend is scratching here, you are putting your ear at this part, and we will find that sound can travel through wood, through metal. In fact, sound can travel through any solid. It can travel through air, it can travel through water. So this is another activity you used to do where, like, have you ever made a toy, telephone toy? Let us see what is this one. So in this toy telephone, you can see that they have tied two strings along these two cans, and you can see that this we have learned that as far that sound, it is carried in all directions and all mediums like gas, liquid and all. Here through strings also sound can get transmitted from here. If you are speaking something, and this fellow will be hearing. So this string is carrying, and it is acting as a medium of transmission of this sound, right? So how do we hear it? So we are hearing, we are hearing the sounds through our ears only. So the shape of the outer part, if you see, of our ear, the outer part of the ear is actually like a funnel. Okay, and when the sound enters, it travels down a canal, at the end of which there is a very thin membrane. So that membrane is called the eardrum. So the total structure of the ear, the internal ear, the middle ear, the external ear, we will be studying in higher classes, not in this sound lesson. Here we will just see the overall thing, how the sound is transmitted from one part to another, what are the basic principles of the production of sound and all we will learn here. So the eardrum, it performs an important function. To understand what the eardrum does, let us build a tin can model of the eardrum. Now here in activity, this 10.10, what we are seeing, we are taking a plastic or a tin can and we are cutting its ends. Okay, so we are stretching a piece of rubber balloon across the end and fastening it with a rubber band. So it has become eardrum kind of thing. It has become elastic membrane rather. So what is eardrum? Eardrum is nothing but an elastic membrane. So here also we have placed a rubber balloon and we have tied it with a rubber band and tried to create a eardrum kind of situation. So we are putting 4 grains or 5 grains of dry cereal on the stretched rubber, and now we are asking our friend to speak something, okay, from the open end, and we are observing what is being happening. So this fellow is speaking near this elastic thing, and we are observing here what is happening. That is, we can see the grains, the dry grains are vibrating. So the eardrum is what? It is like a stretched rubber sheet. Sound vibrations make the eardrum vibrate, and the eardrum sends the vibrations to the inner ear. So this is the eardrum. It is vibrating when sound is coming from outside. It is sending it to the inner ear, and the signal goes to the brain from here. Okay, and this is how we hear. So here in the inner ear, we are having 3 bones, that is malleus, incus and stapes. And these bones are creating the sound, which is again after vibration, this movement of these bones, they are vibrating the semicircular canals. This structure you will be studying in higher classes, and this semicircular canal, that will the eardrum, this is semicircular canal. After it is activated, it is going to the brain to send signal that we have heard something. And one other thing is that you must never put a sharp pointed object or a hard thing in your ear. It can damage your eardrum because it is elastic like thing, and the damaged eardrum can impair your hearing. So this is what we are going to study in today's class, because it is a huge lesson. If we continue the full lesson today, you will mix up somewhere or the other. So in the next class, we will be studying about the amplitude, the time period, and the frequency of vibration, and what else is left in this lesson. Noise and music, audible and inaudible sounds, noise pollution, all will be covered in the next class. So till then, you need to subscribe to my channel to get more and more updates, not only on this lesson, but all other lessons which I'll be teaching you, and I'll be doing the revisions before your final exams. So stay tuned, stay updated, and study all my lessons. If you're having any queries, any doubts, please do write in my comment box. Thank you. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye, and see you in the next episode.